You know that feeling, right? You're home, you're talking to a parent, and then all of a sudden, poof, you feel like you're 15 years old again. You're stuck in that same old script, that same frustrating loop, and it feels like all your adult progress just flew out the window. So let's get into why this keeps happening, and way more importantly, how we can actually break that pattern for good.
It really is like a weird kind of time travel, isn't it? I mean, out in the world, you're a fully capable adult, you run your own life, but the second you step back into that family dynamic, you just revert. Maybe they start treating you like you still don't know how to do laundry, or maybe you find yourself reacting in those old knee-jerk, childish ways. So what on earth is going on here?
And that is the real core of the frustration. It's not really about the specific argument, is it? It's that deeper feeling of just not being seen. It's like they're talking to a ghost version of you from 10, maybe 15 years ago. And then, in turn, you're looking at them and all you see is that authority figure from your childhood, not the actual complex person they are right now.
Well, this pattern, this whole dynamic, it actually has a name. We can call it the adult-child trap. And honestly, it's the main thing that gets in the way of having that more equal, more respectful relationship we're all hoping for.
So here's how this trap actually works, which is pretty fascinating. The relationship expert Dr. John Gottman talks about something called love maps. Basically, it's the mental blueprint we have of the people in our lives. Now, the problem is, with our parents or our adult kids, we tend to stop updating the map. We're trying to navigate a 2024 relationship using a map from like 2005. We assume we already know them, when really, we're working with old, buggy software.
Okay, so how do we update the map? How do we get out of the trap? Well, the key, and this is really the heart of this whole explainer, is one single, incredibly powerful skill. And that skill is called attunement.
Let's be really clear about this definition. Attunement is not about agreeing with them. It is not about solving their problem. It is the kind of radical act of tuning your entire being into their inner world just to understand it. Your only goal is to witness their experience, not to manage it. This slide just lays it out so perfectly. Connection is awesome, right? It's that shared experience, like cheering for the same sports team. We both love this team, great. But attunement, that's a much deeper, more intentional act. It's one person making it their sole mission to understand the other. It's that subtle but massive shift from "we feel this together" to "I want to truly understand what you are feeling." I absolutely love this analogy because it is just so true. So often, we try to give advice or solve problems from point B, which is where we think they are or where we want them to be. But if they are emotionally at point A, all our advice is completely useless. Attunement is the discipline of walking all the way back to point A, sitting down with them right there, and starting the journey from their reality, not ours.
And here's the thing. When you start to practice this, it does a lot more than just make for nicer conversations. It actually fundamentally rewires the entire relationship on a really deep psychological level.
I mean, just look at these shifts. The whole power dynamic starts to level out. Those old hurts can finally begin to soften. You know why? Because the root of most family fights isn't the issue itself. It's the feeling of being totally misunderstood. So when you create understanding, you create safety. And that safety allows for real closeness, without any of the old patterns of control or manipulation.
And this isn't just some feel-good idea. This is the science behind why it works. When a person feels truly heard, their brain literally shifts out of that defensive fight-or-flight mode and into a state of connection. It helps integrate painful memories from the past and can actually start to repair attachment wounds, even ones that are decades old. This is how you build real adult-to-adult respect.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually put it into practice? Let's get into a really concrete 15-minute exercise that you can try, which is designed to do exactly that. The structure here is so simple, but don't let that fool you. It is incredibly powerful. First, you both agree on the single ground rule. Understanding is the only goal here. No fixing. Then one person talks, the other reflects back what they heard, offers a simple acknowledgement, and then you just swap roles. That's the entire game. So let's break down the most important parts.
So the person who's sharing can start things off with this prompt. And notice how it's phrased. It's not an accusation, it's an invitation. Something I wish you understood about my life now is, this frames the whole conversation around a desire for understanding, not a desire to place blame.
Okay, this right here is the most important part. For whoever's listening, this is going to be the hardest thing you do. Your brain will be screaming at you to interrupt, to correct a detail.
to defend yourself. You have to resist that urge. Your silence is what creates the safety for real honesty to finally come out. So after their 5 minutes are up, you don't jump in with your side of the story. Nope, you just become a mirror. You say something like, okay, so what I'm hearing is that you felt really alone during that time, and it sounds like you were really wishing I had noticed how much you were struggling. And then you check in. Did I get that right?
Once they say yes, that's it. The final piece is just a moment of pure empathy. No justifications. No, well, the reason I did that was because none of that. Just simple validation. Thank you for telling me that. I can see how that was really difficult for you. That single sentence is what seals the deal. It's what makes the attunement real.
Now, that formal exercise is incredibly powerful. But really, this isn't just something you do in a scheduled meeting. This whole idea boils down to one core mindset that you can bring into any conversation.
This is the secret. This is the whole magic trick. Don't stress about memorizing a script or saying the perfect thing. The real engine behind all of this is genuine, honest-to-goodness curiosity. It's about shifting your goal away from winning the argument and towards simply wanting to understand their inner world.
And these phrases are your best tools. They are open-ended invitations. They signal that you care more about their experience than you do about being right. And I'm telling you, tell me more might just be one of the most powerful relationship-healing phrases in the entire English language.
Just imagine walking into your next family chat with this one simple mantra in your head. Not to fix, not to advise, not to debate. My only job here is to discover. It changes everything.
So I'll just leave you with that thought to chew on. In your most difficult family relationship, what might change if, just for one conversation, your only goal wasn't to be understood, but simply to understand? What if your only task was to gently and curiously discover their world?